Let's get right into it. Number 12. False alarms everywhere. Your mind works like an alarm set up by a person who does not know walls from windows. A flicker catches its attention, maybe a shadow, maybe nothing at all, and suddenly everything feels broken. It shouts danger even when the breeze shifts fabric across a sill. This reaction jumps fast, mistaking inner noise for real threat. One odd feeling shows up, and the whole system screams collapse. Not warning, just full stop, attack mode. Here's trouble. Panic grabs control of danger sensors long before reason shows up. Your amygdala, think of it as an eager alarm lover, acts without proof. Catches a whiff of something risky and triggers full alert. At that moment, logical thinking stumbles in late, half-dressed, asking questions nobody hears anymore. Response already exploded. Water sprays down. Noise floods ears. Pulse pounds like it wants out, fast. Here's what happens when confusion takes hold. That quick heartbeat? Maybe you moved fast, had coffee, felt joy could be meaningless. Yet panic jumps in. Wrong. You're dying, now sweat. The mind would rather believe a lie than sit with not knowing. Unknowns seem threatening. It invents worst-case tales where everything spirals, all about you. Odd thing is, the body reactions you fear come from the warning system meant to protect you. Oxygen needs get met when your heart races. Breathing shifts happen so muscles can respond fast. Senses go on high alert. Your mind acts like danger waits down aisle 3. You sense those changes, then wonder why it feels so intense. Surprise, your built-in protection just startled you into panic. Funny how the mind can celebrate loudly, only to get scared by its own ruckus. The body's defense kicks in, sure, yet handles things like a shrieking detector glued above burnt bread. Number 11. Oxygen drama. Breathing takes over your thoughts when panic hits. All at once it seems impossible to pull air into your lungs, as if oxygen got replaced without notice. You try to control each breath, an awkward task made worse by a tension similar to forcing yourself to blink on cue under observation. Breathing too much sneaks up on you during panic. Not enough carbon dioxide shows up when that happens. The brain stumbles at changes like this. Vessels inside the head clamp down without warning. Dizziness arrives fast. Sometimes pins and needles do too. Floating sensations tag along out of nowhere. Balance feels glitched while standing still. Your mind jumps in fast, thinking, we might collapse. That thought turns panic up louder. Breathing goes shaky since nerves flare, while the shaky breath feeds more alarm. Perfect mess spins round and round. Breathing on its own, that happens nearly all the time. From the first day you arrived, it just runs. Then panic shows up, shoving responsibility at you like a sudden test. Trying harder to stay steady only makes each breath feel fake. When that happens, your mind jumps to danger. This happens because someone overwhelmed might gasp even when breathing should be easy. Everything works fine. A shift in chemicals tricks the mind into sounding alarms without cause. Your lungs work well. Oxygen levels stay normal. Suddenly, your brain makes breathing something you have to think about together, then pins stress on you like it's your fault. Number 10. Time gets weird. Time bends when fear takes hold. Not a gentle curve, more like crumpling paper into a tight ball. Each tick of the second hand drags itself forward, heavy and unwilling. What should be brief turns thick, hard to move through. The clock shows numbers that make no sense at all. Disbelief rises when reality refuses to match inner chaos. Thought insists eternity has passed within one breath. Something shifts when fear takes hold. Your mind locks onto every detail, sharp and loud. The body's alarm system fires up, tracking each pulse, each flicker of feeling. Usually, thoughts flow smooth, trimmed down like a quiet summary. But now, spills out raw, line by line, without pause. Everything gets voiced, even what goes unnoticed before. A sudden rush of details stretches seconds thin. This explains why crashes seem to drag on, also why awkwardness sticks around without paying dues. When the mind packs too much into a flash, looking back makes it appear stretched out. While happening, it simply refuses to end. What happens next? Dread takes hold. Tells you this sensation won't fade. Not only is it bad right now, but it believes it will stay that way always. Thoughts of being okay later vanish. That idea that things could get better just disappears. Funny thing, panic often hits hard, then vanishes fast. Yet while stuck inside it, that idea seems made up, dreamed by folks who've never sat right here, feeling exactly this, breathing this air frozen in place. Panic changes how time feels. Moments stretch out, slow down, almost stick in place. The mind does not record clearly, it performs. Time warps when fear takes hold. Your inner rhythm isn't damaged. When panic arrived, it simply stretched time like an old tape reel. Moments grow longer when danger looms nearby. Number 9. Your body feels fake. A strange sensation sometimes hits when panic rises. The sense that things aren't fully there. Hands seem unfamiliar. The world appears thin, somehow removed. It's like seeing everything through foggy glass. That moment makes thoughts race toward disaster. Mind slips into fear fast. This thing is called depersonalization, mixed with derealization, your mind stepping back when things get too much. Even though it scares you, it's more like a shield than a threat. If your brain senses harm, it might soften the blow by dulling what you feel. Kind of works like buffers during emotional crashes. Trouble is that spacey fog can seem alien, especially when it lands without warning. Things keep moving, just differently now. Sight turns either too clear or strangely flat. Noise drifts, distant and muffled. What you think inside your head doesn't sound like yours anymore, more like a voice that wandered in. Since most people need everything to feel regular, this odd state stands out more than anything as what frightens them. Fear thrives on new things. When something seems off, the mind jumps to off means risky, then pushes harder. Suddenly it's not just fear showing up, it brings its own shadow along. One emotion sneaks in, another tags behind without warning. This won't last. It feels strange, yes, yet your presence remains unchanged. What happens isn't damage, just an overactive defense switch inside your mind. That mental shortcut fired when stress climbed too high. Existence stays intact throughout. The reaction? A protective reflex that misjudged the threat level. Your mind built a cushion around you without asking, suddenly tense when it noticed how strange that padding really feels. Number 8. Thoughts go full catastrophe. Fear hits, thought patterns shift fast, no slow drift here. A strange feeling jumps straight to alarm, then stacks consequence on top of dread without pause. Seconds stretch thin while imagination races ahead, building collapse after collapse inside the mind. What begins as a flicker turns full storm before breath can catch up. Speed fools you into believing fiction. This occurs when fear blocks detail. When that happens, thought shifts not toward reasoning, but instinct, where shades of gray vanish under pressure. Nuance gets tossed aside like excess weight. Instead of weighing possibilities, the mind races toward danger, hunting worst-case stories before facts arrive. Your mind makes wild leaps when the heat's on. A thought drifts by, then twists into danger. Imagine saying, "What if I pass out?" Suddenly you're trapped in a scene. Falling, helpless, humiliated, shattered beyond repair. The mind doesn't question it. It files the vision under proof, not possibility. It gets harder when you begin watching your thoughts too closely. Instead of asking why you thought something, you wonder whether you'll ever break free from such patterns. Before long, the voice inside turns sharp, no longer a companion but something that pushes back. It's strange how often people have odd thoughts, particularly when stressed. What makes them linger isn't their truth, it's your reaction. When something disturbs you, your mind treats it like a warning signal. Pushing it away only gives it strength, much like giving attention to a child acting out just because they want notice. Panic doesn't show what you really think. Instead, it twists those thoughts, makes them louder, then throws them out raw, no frame, no pause. What slips out isn't truth, it's shape-shifted by pressure. Your mind acts like a play where everything goes wrong, ignoring every idea but one. Pile on more chaos. It chooses only the darkest twist, again and again. Number 7. Muscle mutiny. Strange how tension builds when panic hits. Jaw locks up tight. Shoulders inch upward, almost touching the ears. Hands tremble, go limp, sometimes tingle without reason. Muscles tense up as if bracing for impact. A battle that never arrives plays out inside anyway. Funny how panic feels like a glitch, yet it's really old wiring misfiring. Muscles lock up, shielding what matters most while gearing up to move fast. Flow of blood shifts, favoring arms and legs over delicate moves. Smooth hand movements, tossed aside when speed wins. Turns out accuracy isn't urgent if you're trying not to die. Strange feelings might show up out of nowhere. A clenched chest gives off a squeezing sensation. The throat tightens, almost as if something is blocking it. Legs wobble, sending signals that everything could give way. These reactions do not signal danger. Still, fear whispers otherwise. Here comes the cycle again. Tension shows up. A thought pops. Why's this happening? The mind replies, threat nearby. Pours in more adrenaline. Suddenly, it's not just tension, it's worrying about the tightness itself. What hits hardest comes later. Once the panic passes, muscles ache, energy fades, limbs tremble, as if sprinting in place for miles. The reason? Energy spent was real even when the threat wasn't. Your body got pumped like it needed to battle a wild animal. Turns out, nothing came. Now those tight muscles just feel let down. Number 6. Logic goes offline. When panic hits, a person might say, calm down or just breathe. Then you'll imagine sending them to orbit. It isn't about being unkind. Reason took an unscheduled break. Right now, your mind won't take advice from facts. When panic hits, the brain stops using the areas that handle calm decisions. Instead, energy moves to older parts focused on immediate danger. This switch makes thoughts quick, intense, rough around the edges. Reason fades while instinct takes hold, often at the worst times. This happens because comfort often misses the mark. Even when your mind says danger isn't real, your gut screams otherwise. Fear splits perception. Rational thought watches helplessly as instinct slams the alarm over and over. That is why picking feels out of reach. Small decisions weigh heavy. A sense of being stuck may rise, even when danger isn't near. Staying put seems risky inside your mind, pushing you toward leaving, shifting, doing just to stop the pressure. What makes it tough is how arguing with panic often does the opposite of helping. When you keep asking for reassurance that everything is fine, your mind starts thinking danger must be near. Otherwise, you wouldn't dig so deep. Here's the thing. Panic doesn't mean you've lost control. It's more like your mind quickly shifts gears. Reason still works, just not in charge right now. Your mind switched off the calm, grown-up voice, giving control instead to someone jumpy, shouting too fast. Loud thoughts took over when quiet sense should have spoken. Number 5. Sensory overload. Out of nowhere, panic turns up the volume on everything around you. Bright lights sting the eyes. Noise hits harder than usual. Even clothing against skin becomes unbearable. That thumping in your chest? It booms like distant thunder. The world pushes in from every direction, fast and sharp. Your mind believes there's a threat. Because of this, senses stretch wider than usual. Spotting risks sooner becomes the aim. As time passes, small things begin to feel like intrusions. Everything suddenly matters. Usually, your mind tunes out distant sounds or odd feelings. In moments of panic, nothing gets ignored. A flickering bulb catches attention like a warning sign. The shirt against your arm feels strange, maybe wrong. Even quiet sounds seem loud, charged with meaning. Here's the thing. Too much coming in leaves you struggling to find your place. It hits like a wave, pulling you under while everything stays still. Silence feels urgent now, though the world hasn't shifted. Noise levels stayed flat. The twist? Your mind cranked the sound past breaking point. You start to see the weight pressing down on you, something your mind treats like another red flag. A fresh cycle begins. Nothing feeds more on repetition than panic. Fear often makes choices vanish, yet reaching for one steady thing helps. A chair taken slowly, the shock of ice in hand. One note repeated nearby. Each pulls thought away from chaos by offering rhythm, shape. Mind grabs these like ropes because they move in expected ways. Your mind flipped on all the senses together. Suddenly things slowed down, so it freaked out. What came next was just noise piling up behind a frozen screen. Number 4. Heartbeat betrayal. Bang. That thump inside your chest grabs attention when it shouldn't. Suddenly, the rhythm seems off, racing without reason, pounding like it's angry. Stillness surrounds you, yet the pulse hammers as if escape were urgent. No movement, no effort, just a beat that refuses calm. It isn't danger nearby, but the body sending signals in code. This is what happens. Fear tunes your attention inward. Your heartbeat never changed. Only now do you notice it. Fear puts a stethoscope in your hand, turns up the volume. Each beat suddenly urgent, loud, impossible to ignore. Blood pumps faster when adrenaline kicks in. Oxygen needs a quick ride. Just that. Nothing more to uncover. Yet fear whispers something strange is happening, then insists it must be wrong, then demands answers fast. Why won't this stop? Soon the beat races harder, since tension has just walked into the room. Finding yourself tapping your wrist again and again isn't unusual. Like hitting reload on a frozen screen, over and over. That beat under your skin tells you worry hasn't left, so the loop simply rolls forward. Odd how scared you are of your pulse, yet that fear pushes it faster. Stress makes your heart act right, but your mind turns it into something dire. Your heart just works, meanwhile the mind critiques like a restless customer at dinner. It runs without asking while thoughts scribble notes nonstop. Number 3. Control panic about panic. Over time, fear changes shape. Not only the first feeling matters anymore. The real concern becomes fear of fear. A person begins thinking about the next attack, its timing, its place, how hard it might be to leave once it starts. Now it's on high alert, always watching. The mind begins seeing panic as something unpredictable, ready to strike without notice. It checks the body again and again throughout the day. A twinge here, a rush there, each one pulled under suspicion. Even ordinary feelings get mistaken for danger signals. Day by day, existence turns into constant monitoring. Oddly enough, that steady watch leaves your nerves always a bit on edge. This state opens the door to sudden panic. Each episode feels like proof of danger, so you pay even closer attention next time. A loop runs smoothly once it starts. Your mind thinks staying alert means staying in charge. Yet when panic shows up, that watchfulness brings on exactly what you hope to dodge. Safety feels impossible since your guard is always up. Because you keep scanning for threats, calm stays out of reach. What makes it tough is how reasonable it seems. Naturally, avoiding pain makes sense. Yet fear ignores safety plans. Instead, it grows from confusion. Your mind runs from dread. Yet it's exactly that running which powers the struggle. That avoidance fuels everything. Number 2. The aftershock. Once the fear quiets down, returning to normal doesn't happen fast. It leaves you drained, as if squeezed too hard. Thoughts move slow, thick like syrup. Feelings stay raw, close under the surface. Shame might creep in. Your mind acted like danger was real, though there was none. Breathing feels shaky after that shock. A rush of chemicals flooded through you not long ago. Because those signals fired fast, recovery takes longer now. Energy stays high when adrenaline moves slow. Stress sticks around as cortisol settles deep. Balance returns only once the calm finds its way back. Shakiness could show up next, or maybe a sense of distance from things around you. Being worn out is common too. Even sudden waves of feeling, yes, those count. The force was not made up. What took place inside your system? Real enough, just lacked danger outside yourself. Your mind might jump straight into picking apart what just happened. Questions like, why did this occur? Pop up without warning. Then come others, could it repeat? What does that say about who you are? Going over it all tends to stir unease back to life. That is especially true when emotions haven't settled yet. Truth is, panic attacks usually grow from built-up pressure over time, never just one thing alone. Missing sleep piles up. So does coffee. Emotions too heavy to carry stay hidden. Tension without release adds weight slowly. Then suddenly the body can't hold anymore. What you feel now isn't brokenness. It's your body stepping back from high tension. This slowing? A natural release after strain held too long. Your mind stayed awake through the whole night without purpose. Now it acts like that never occurred. A strange demand, really. Number 1, your brain means well. What stings the most? Panic isn't a broken mind. It's a mind working perfectly, built to react fast, wired for danger, shaped by survival. Only now, alarms go off when there's no fire. The volume on fear just cranks up too loud, too sudden, in moments that don't fit. Your mind grew strong in wild places, shaped by survival needs long gone. Not meant for sitting still while horns blare or clocks tick down. Built around one job: spot danger, find calm. Modern demands like packed schedules or silent anxieties. They slip past its ancient wiring. Stress piles up because your brain sees little relief. Safety signals get drowned out by noise that never stops. When pressure builds up, the mind leans toward safety. Rather than overlook danger, it chooses to sound a warning, even if wrong. Evolution sees logic here. You just feel let down. What hits hardest is how real it seems. Yet this reaction does not mean weakness. Not broken, just tuned too tight. When threat shows up, even if only in thought, the body responds like it must. Alarm bells ring without checking facts first. When fear grows, resistance feeds its voice. Understanding steps in, mystery fades out. Your mind works fine, just following an old guidebook meant to keep you safe since ancient times. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.